Hey, welcome back, everyone, or if you're a first-time viewer, to the virtual town hall, specifically Father's Fridays here in the month of June, where we're celebrating not just Father's Day, but every Friday in the month of June, we're going to celebrate guys, dads. And today is no different. It's a little bit different. If you've been watching our virtual town halls over the last several years, this month is a little bit different. Before, we've been talking about the law. We've been talking about ways to position yourself to obtain the results you want, whether it's in court or whatever it may be. The entire month of June and today, again, is no different. We've been trying to present uplifting resources, things for guys, whether you're married or whether you're divorced, you're considering divorce in the process, whatever it may be, of something you can do with your kids, tools, resources, apps, making memories. And today we're talking about really busy lifestyle things you can do. And so that's what we're focusing on. We're going to continue that on even beyond Father's Day as it is coming up. So happy Father's Day early to all the fathers out there. But today, again, is no different. I want to joining us today, introduce our Cordell and Cordell attorneys. First is Ashley Folio Morgan and Christina Wilford. Welcome, both of you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, and our guest, which we're really excited. We were talking off camera today with an app or something called BusyKid, and we're joined by the CEO. And I hope I say your last name right, Gregg Murset. Is that right?
Did it. Good job.
Oh, yeah, awesome. It's kind of rolling the dice there. So Gregg, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I'm really, as I told you offline, maybe I can be a little bit nerdy, geeky when it comes to money and finances and those types of things. And BusyKid does that. And I was kind of driving over, stopped a bit, took a look at the website and the app and what it provides. And so I know our viewers today are going to be super excited about what you're going to tell them. But before we do that, don't forget, you can ask questions of our attorneys, of our guest, Gregg, here about BusyKid. You can submit that in the Q&A section right now. You want to do that? We have 27 minutes left in our show today. So we'll try to answer your questions and get to it. So, hey, we're introducing it. Let's talk right about it. What is BusyKid?
BusyKid, get your kid busy doing something that actually going to help him in life. Okay. This is what we like to do. It's an app that teaches kids primarily two things, really. How to work, okay, bust it out, do some stuff, earn some money. Once you get the money, what do you do with it? You manage that money in a very balanced way. So BusyKid is literally the app that helps parents do that, teach them how to work and be smart with their money.
Yeah. So, interestingly, as we were talking offline, and why I found this to be so appropriate and exciting for our topic today is, and I said, oftentimes we have guys, they go through a really terrible relationship. Now they're divorced and they have their kids over and they're stuck. And I don't even know my kid anymore. Or what do I do with my kids? And yeah, this talks about setting up, and you can talk a little bit how it works, setting up allowances for chores. But I said, when I grew up, and I was a kid, we learned how to balance a checkbook. We knew the types of things that kind of life skills. This thing to me is exactly what guys should be doing. They should be downloading this app, using this app, because it serves a multi-purpose, not just life skills, but it allows you to just be real with your kid and provide them something to look forward to when you have them and give them permanent life skill set, right?
Totally. And you know what? Let's be real. Money motivates. It does all of us, and it's not a bad thing. We have to kind of get with it when it comes to this. I think it's really important that dads take charge of this, right? It's one of those things they're not going to learn it in school very good. Like I went through the whole school process, right? And I took classes in French and all this other stuff, geometry. Like none of it I've used since I left school. And so so they're not going to get it at school. So where are they going to get it? Well, they're going to get it at home. And so that becomes incumbent upon us to really kind of take the bull by the horns here and say, all right, what am I going to teach this kid about money? Am I going to be the guy who's just laying on the couch and the kid comes by and says, hey, I want to go to the movies, and I hand him $20? Is that going to be me? Or am I going to be the guy who says, no, that's not how we do it around here. I got a list of stuff for you to do. And if you knock it out, you can have some money and go to the movies. That's the guy I think we should be, because I've looked and looked and looked, and there still isn't a job out there that you can do absolutely nothing and still get paid. Okay.
Right.
I don't know why we would reinforce that with our kids. So give them stuff to do, let them earn some money, and turn the table on them, right? Well, shoot, I'd like to give you $20 to go to the movies, but the lawn is still not mowed. Like,
Yeah.
I've asked you to do it like 20 times. Go bust it out, and then I'll reach into my pocket, pull out this app, and tap a button and send you the $20 bonus or the $15, whatever it is you agreed upon. Like, that's digital. That's life with money in this digital age, right? The nature of money has completely changed. And, really, if you're the dad laying on the couch, you probably don't have a $20 bill because not all of us carry cash anymore. Hardly, less than 10% of the money flying around is cash and coin. So we got to change that whole thing, change the whole dynamic.
I'm going to turn it over to the other attorneys. I know they have questions, but I'm occupied all the time.
Attorneys asking me questions. I'm starting to sweat.
So there was a question that came in real quickly from Andy, and he says, does the app have a checklist of all the chores you assign?
Yes, of course. Yeah. That's what this is where it came from. Okay. I was that guy who was thinking, okay, I got to give my kids stuff to do. I want to have a routine every morning, et cetera, et cetera. And so I put it on the fridge, like I would print it out. And then I'd run out of toner, and then we'd miss it for 3 weeks, and it's just like a mess. So yes, BusyKid, you literally give them chores to do. It appears every single day, and they know, all right, these are the 5 things, these are the 7 things I got to do this morning. Bam, bam, bam. Before I leave to school, I've got to water the dog, feed and water the dog. I got to take out the trash. I got to make my bed. I got to brush my teeth. I got to do whatever things are, and that's it. And really, if you think about it, that's a routine. And that's what all of us have. If we're trying to be successful in life, we got to have some kind of a routine. So teach it early, tie it to money so that they have a little money to make decisions with. And then boom, that's the magic formula.
So is it customizable? Because Eric asks the question, does it include homework, schoolwork ability to kind of put that in there? Yeah.
Do homework, right? That's one of our preloaded jobs. You could also, we have about 100 preloaded jobs or chores. So that's easy, right? You just literally scroll through and bam, bam. Oh, that'd be a good one, right? Yeah. The other way you can do it is you can totally customize it. You could take a picture of the car and say, wash the car. You could take a picture of the dog and say feed Fido, right? So you can do all the custom stuff you want. The other thing is we like preload the dollar figure that is tied to the chore. And we do that because we have millions and millions and millions of jobs that have been done. So we kind of know the going rate, I guess you could say. But you can change that if you want to. If you're a cheapskate like me, change it. That's great. You can do whatever you want for your own family.
I know online, if you look and check it up, it's busykid.com, right?
BusyKid, yeah.
Yeah. So there are pictures of, I think, the chores and snapshots of just what it charges. It's so cool. I'm really excited. Like I said, my kids are now grown, but I catch myself this week. I was texting my 2 boys who are at home from school saying, hey, here's what I need done this week. And, it's the kind of thing where if I just be able to preload it, hey, and when you get time, check out the app. It's cool.
Yeah. It's amazing. And the real important part, I think, of the app is it's not just a easier way to get your kid money, right? It's not really what it is. It's not just, let them earn it and burn it as fast as possible. Okay. That's not the point. Americans don't seem to have a problem with that. They have no problem burning it as fast as they earn it, right? What it does is it reinforces what we call a balanced financial approach. Okay, so literally, this is exactly what we do as adults. We go to work, we earn some money. Okay, we usually put some in saving or investing. We do it usually like in a 401k or something. Then the second part is we share. We usually give some to church or charity, something we care about. And then the last thing we do with our money is we spend it. And we usually spend it with a card or on our phone. That is exactly what BusyKid is. It's like that little ecosystem of real life in an app. So they do their chores, they earn their money, and we put automatically, it goes through like our filter, right? And puts some into the save invest bucket. It puts some into the share, and then it puts some into the spend. Boom, 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 automatically every time they earn money. That is success right there.
So talking about the chores that assign, I think I saw when I was checking it out that you actually have chores kind of assigned by ages or, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I have 2 girls that are several years apart in age. So obviously one chore, for one isn't going to apply to the other.
Sure. So like chores are always kind of age appropriate, right? And so, once upon a time, I have two girls, and one of them was fairly young, but I thought, you know what, she's ready for yard work. I'm bringing her out, and so I put her in charge of trimming the bushes, right, with the little thing, that trims the bushes, and she was amazing at it. Like, I was like, wow, I'm firing the boy and I'm hiring the daughter. She was so good at it. And so I think chores should be age appropriate, but always be ready to push them just a little bit more. Okay. Get them to be a little bit better at something. And don't put them in a box. Like, my daughter's not, she can only stay inside and do jobs. Like, that's crazy, right? Get her out there and do the other stuff and let the boys clean the toilet. And everybody should be doing everything, if you ask me. And so this is a great opportunity to not only make them age specific, but push them a little bit, stretch them a little bit, let them get some experience that's actually going to be valuable for them.
Well, Gregg, let me ask you this. Since you bring up the fact that the chores can be age appropriate, obviously, that's wonderful that the app allows you that functionality. But what is the typical age range and user of BusyKid? Like, how young can we get kids started on this? Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say start them as early as 5. I know that seems crazy, like, oh my goodness, a 5-year-old, but they're smart. They get it. They should have responsibilities. I think it can go all the way up till literally they leave the nest. So 5 to 17, 18, right? And so practice makes perfect in, school, in music, in everything. It's same thing with money. If you get them started early and let them practice with it, they're going to get better at it. So even if they're young and they're making dumb decisions with their money. Okay. They're like, oh, I got to have that scooter or that skateboard or that dress or that shirt or whatever. And they save up and they go and buy it. And 5 days later, the toy is broken or the skateboard's wheels are gone. That's a great lesson to learn, right? We've all had that buyer's remorse. I would much rather him or her have a buyer's remorse situation when they're 7 or 10 than when they're 25 and they just bought a car and they're like, oh my goodness, I can't afford this, right? Let's start early, practice often, and they're going to get really good at it.
Dominic asks a question about both parents assigning tasks. Or can just one parent at a time, or how many users? Are there different user accounts within the app, or how would that work?
Sure. So we have essentially the ability to add 2 parents, and you can add a primary parent and a secondary parent. And so you can collaborate on that. And so that makes it good too. So that, if one of the parents want to add certain chores and the other one wants to add certain chores, great. And so it makes it pretty flexible and easy for a family to be able to kind of interface with the app as well. Everybody has their own login. Everybody has their own PIN. So, it gets them understanding the whole PIN thing too, right? So that they can use their 4-digit PIN to get into the app. And it's just kind of like you do with the card, right? To get money out of an ATM. So it makes it kind of easy to do that and get them familiar with it too.
So I saw another question. Sorry, Scott. I saw another question that I actually had too. I have a 5-year-old.
Oh, good.
And the question was kind of for those younger kids, hopefully she doesn't have a cell phone for a good number of years, but how can they get access? And even what you just said with the PIN, I don't think my 5-year-old can remember her last name, let alone a PIN. So how do we kind of provide for those younger kids in the app?
Yeah. So I think kids are smarter than you think. They could remember their last name and the PIN. Just a few times, then they'll get it. But give them the ability to start early, and then they'll get with this stuff. And technology is they just get it. It's almost automatic these days. We as older adults, we're saying things like, I'm gonna roast Scott on this, but he said balance a checkbook. Like, nobody has a checkbook anymore, hardly, right? We don't write checks. And if we write checks, it's kind of annoying when somebody gives you a check, because then you're like, oh gosh, now I gotta take a picture of it and put it in. It's all different now. It's all completely different. The world has changed. So we have to teach these, especially younger kids, about what I call invisible money, because it's really that way. It's not really something that you get put in your pocket or in your purse. It's just numbers on a screen now. And to teach them about that, you have to let them live in that world, in that technological world, and start experimenting with it.
So as we talk about the money, and this is part of the question, is the app have a relationship with the bank, and how does it invest in stocks? Walk through that process of where is the money deposited as the parent transfers it.
Yeah. So what you do is you link your funding source or your bank account with our service, okay? And we do that through in a very encrypted way and use Plaid and all these other things. So you connect with the source, and then every time, let's just say you send a bonus to your kid, okay? They busted out, washed the car, and you want to send him $10. Or like me, I might have bribed my kid in the past, like, hey, if you get on base at the baseball game, you smack it out there and you get a double, you're going to get $10.
Yeah.
Right. And you just reach into your pocket and you send the bonus. We're going to take the money out of your checking account. We're going to bring it into our system, and it's going to sit there in your family account. And we're going to keep track of the money in the save and the share and the spend for you. So you don't have to think about any of that stuff. And then it all just sits there. And every time a kid wants to move the money and do stuff with it, it's all based on parental approval. Okay. So let's say they want to go and browse through and learn how to invest. We have this whole invest area where they can go look at all 4,500 stocks on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, and exchange traded funds or ETFs, whatever they want to look at, right? So let's just say they're browsing that and they think, you know what, I love Teslas, or I love watching Netflix. I want to buy some Tesla stock. They just tap on that, put in the amount that they want, and we send a notification to the parent that says, hey, Johnny wants to buy $10 of Tesla stock, which I think is super cool to teach them about all this stuff. And the parent always has the final say. It's like, okay, yeah, yes or no. You can deny it or approve it. Let's say they deny it or they approve it. Boom. All of a sudden, we have Tesla stock, and now we're watching like a hawk. Okay. And I'm telling you, these kids watch that stuff like a hawk when it's their own money. They're thinking, man, I had to scoop dog poop and wash the car and clean my room and do all this stuff for that money. They are watching that money. Yeah. And so now they have stock to do. If they want to donate to a charity, same thing. Parental approval, boom, we're going to help move that money. Or load the card, right? Same thing, $20, boom, approve it, and the money moves right onto the card. So it's all based on parental approval, but the kid is kind of making those initial decisions.
And I think that's what it's exciting to me about the app is that it just provides almost unlimited potential conversation points along the way.
Totally.
As you said, hey, let's talk about the stock market. What is it? Walk me through it. It started at an early age. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for them to invest, but then you can walk them through setting up an account, whether it be E-Trade or whatever, Robinhood, whatever it is, and showing them how to do that, and then letting them watch their money grow and understanding what it means to invest, because it's not just buying the stock. Then you can open the door to, pull up the chart and let's just talk about what it means. What is the cap? What is a dividend? What is a beta? What does that all mean? Maybe get them excited and start charting a career path for them.
Boy, you are nerdy about stuff.
I know, right?
Really? You're throwing beta out there? I like it. Alpha, beta, let's go. So absolutely, you're totally right. Kids learn best by doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big believer in that. Let them do stuff. Okay. And if they do it, the light bulbs are going to come on all the time and the conversations are going to be never ending. And this is a good thing. When they look on their activity feed in the app and they see the dividend, they're going to be like, what is this? Like, I don't get it. What is this? And then all that, boom, you can have a conversation about, oh yeah, when you invest in a company, they spin off a dividend. You get it. Wait, I got free money? That's amazing. Right?
Yeah.
And then what do you think they're going to do when they get their first 401k and they at their job? They're going to be like, aha, I know what that's all about. We even have a feature in the app, which I really like. It's called Savings Match, right? Mm-hmm. This is exactly what it does is it mimics a 401k match. That's all it does, right? Cool. And so all of a sudden you incentivize them to save more by having a match. And we have it just like most employers do. 25, 50, 75, 100% match, right? Very basic, but man, that's powerful stuff. And then when they are 23 or whatever, and they have their job with a 401k and they start putting money away, we've all done the math or seen the math done for us. If you start in your 20s and start saving, boy, you're way ahead of the game than if you wait till you're 35 and start saving. So killer important stuff right out of the gate.
I mean, I think that's the point is I see an app like this potentially having the impact on a kid who's now gone back to mom's and having a great time uniquely at each place, but saying, you know what, I want to go back to dad's. I want to talk about stocks. I can't wait to see what's going on with my app, right? Or do some more chores. That's why I think Father's Fridays, what we're talking about here, is trying to create resources to bring different, viewpoints in your custody time of what you can do. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, how many times have you heard this? I mean, I've heard this play out many, many, many times, which is, well, they go to mom's and they get this kind of treatment, and they go to dad's and they just party, or whatever. Yeah, right. Like he just lets them do anything they want and gives them money and all this stuff. Like, I think your point is a really good one, which is let's get them channeled a little bit in the importance of money. And get them excited about the fun aspects of it. Like, hey, why don't you bust it out? And we can like use your card when we go to the, the amusement park or go goofy golfing or I don't know, whatever. Right. Instead of just like blowing it on them. And, kind of deep within you, you're like, I probably shouldn't be doing this because I'm kind of spoiling them, not really helping them. I'm entitling them. It's not the right thing, but it's pretty hard to maneuver that whole situation. And so if you use technology and you use something like this, it's like you kind of you're not the bad guy. You're the guy who's not only kind of fun, but also teaching me cool stuff. Yeah. Right. So this is great.
Well, and if they're if they're earning chores at your house and, it kind of makes them want to come back to your house. Right. Well, and I remember being a little kid, my grandparents bought us some stock in Disney, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I was an owner of Disney, right? You're a kid. You don't 100% understand.
You're a big shot.
So I can, right. So I can just imagine kids coming in, like you said, with Tesla, and like, I own part of Tesla, as more of an incentive to come to our dad's houses, our clients' houses, because they want to earn that. I think that's a really cool, kind of spin on this app.
Yeah. And it lessens the kind of the bummer part of chores, like, that whole kind of aspect of chores. Because let's be real, nobody gets up in the morning and says, oh, wonderful, I'm going to go do some chores. Like, no, that's not what happens, right? They actually are like dread it a little bit. But if you tie it to money, you tie it to stuff they like, well, this is fine because that's the real world. I don't know if, all of the lawyers out there say, oh, good, I can't wait to get up and do some, lawyering today. But the money helps a little bit, and that helps with everybody, whatever their profession is, right? So why not learn that early in life? And I think you're totally right. When they have that feeling of, man, I own Disney, I own Tesla, I'm a baller. Like this is awesome. This is a great way to motivate kids early in life. And like I said, the earlier the better, and they're going to be smart. I have to just do this quasi flex, okay? And don't get me wrong, I am not the best dad in the world. I try, but 5 of the 6 kids of ours have left the nest, and all 5 of them have had more than $10,000 saved up before they left. And I think, holy smokes, that is a ton of money. Like the average American doesn't have $800, for the big, the transmission that goes out in the car. But that's a lot of money. And that's not because I'm paying them like $200 to wash the car. I can tell you that much. But they get it and they learn it early and it sticks. So it's definitely not out of the realm for anybody.
I mean, one of the great things that I'm seeing from your website is that not only are you incentivizing kids to be productive members of your household, but you're educating them on this area that's such a huge gap in our education, whether it's balancing a checkbook, whether it's, in my generation, we received a how-to guide for dummies on how to run the stock market, and it had colorful photos because I was 10 and that was exciting. But you were reading it and you were looking at these charts and it wasn't really letting you do it. Like you said, if you do it, you just understand it so much better. And the earlier kids are doing this, of course, it's time to do, the silly mistakes that everyone makes in finance. If they're doing it at 5, you're setting your kids up for this incredible financial future that they just otherwise aren't learning in a traditional school system, whether it's private or public. That it's a huge gap.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, you can sit there and listen to your teacher talk about it, right? Which most aren't, frankly. But when they do that, they're learning it kind of in their brain. But until they really kind of put it into practice, it's not going to stick all that well, right? How many times have we read something or learned about it and then kind of gone, right? It's out of our minds. But when you solidify it with an experience, it sticks. So really important stuff. And you're right. It's a big fat gap in the learning system in America. And so we can sit around and we can just blame each other and say, well, the school should be teaching them this. I don't understand why they don't. And the school says that's the parents' responsibility. And they're like kind of pointing at each other. And I always say it's like this blame game where the kid's in the middle and the loser of the argument because they don't get what they actually need. So forget about blaming everybody. Let's just get out there and start giving them opportunities to like make this stuff happen. And when you do, they're not only going to like it. I mean, and the research shows that kids want to do this stuff and they want to learn about it, but they want to learn about it in a way that it's actually going to help them because they're going to make financial decisions literally every single day of their life all the time.
So Dominic asked, and I know on the app, it's subscription based, I imagine.
Yep.
And how many kids can you add, or do you pay per kid? How's it set up?
Yeah, so it's $48 a year. Okay, so it equates to $4 a month, and you can add up to 5 kids.
Oh,
so
awesome.
That covers almost everybody out there.
Yeah,
It's a few weirdos like me that have a little bit more than that, but I mean, let's be real. Most people have 1 or 2, and so plenty for the whole family.
That's awesome. So again, how can they find BusyKid on the web? I mean, I guess they can go to App Store, Android, iPhone, then go to the web. Tell us, everyone, they're going to want to go. Yeah,
BusyKid. And I really believe, like, get your kid busy doing something that's actually going to help them in life. How many times do you, especially in the summertime, right? Here we are in the summer. How many times have you walked by and your kid's just laying there on the couch, buried in his phone or her phone, and you're thinking, this is not good, right? They're just doing nothing. They're watching reels or watching dumb stuff on scrolling Instagram for hours and hours. And you know in your heart, like, this is a bad thing, right? You gotta do something better. So get them busy doing something that's actually going to help them in life and learn how the real world works. It works when you work and then when you get some money and what you do with it. So, and you can always say, hey guys, we're going to work real hard for the next 3 days. And then we're going to go, we're going to go to the lake. We're going to go goofy golfing. We're going to go to the mall. We're going to go, shop on Amazon. I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but set that up for them and let them like have a kind of a fun summer, but also a productive summer where they learn something.
Yeah. I wish my kids were younger and I could have used this for them, and it made my life a little bit easier. Not only
you
just
always have hope with grandkids one day. Okay?
Right. Hey,
they're coming your way.
Right. That is true. You can use it for your grandkids.
I've already got some and they're fantastic. I'll just bonus the money nonstop.
Right. I want to go to grandpa's and earn some money. So Gregg, thanks so much for joining today. Wonderful information. Love the app. Good luck to you. And I know we'll be talking about this probably on our future town halls to kind of get guys some of this resource. So I appreciate the time.
Love it. Good to be with you guys today.
All right. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great stuff today, as always. Go to the website, busykid.com, download it off Android or iPhone. So we're at the end of our time. Thanks for joining today, but always check out social media. Next Friday, same time, same place. You can ask questions, get answers. You'll have great guests like we did today with Gregg at BusyKid. We want to continue bringing resources all of the month of June for guys and dads out there. Happy Father's Day coming up. Again, thanks for joining. Until next time, we'll see you next Friday. Have a great week.